Borderlands 3 came out. And Jimmy, actually we missed that part at James's house. In the little gaming living room with the TVs on the wall. Jimmy and James got really into the first Borderlands. And I had tried, couldn't get into it. Like in the other video, I tried number 1, ended up getting addicted to number 2. So what was the other game that came out at the same time as number 3? Do you remember?
No, not off the top of my head, but I know what you're talking about.
There was something that came out at the same time, and Jimmy said he was really excited about Borderlands 3. I was kind of excited, but there was another game that came out at the same time. And I was like, I'm going to go with this other one. I don't remember. I probably got whatever game. It was Breakpoint. Ghost Recon Breakpoint. So, Breakpoint, it was okay. I played it more than any of our group. I liked it, but following Wildlands was it. I can't say it was a failure. It was like it was like the Far Cry 4 to Far Cry 3. It's a follow-up. It's a good game, but it just after its predecessor could not hold water for me.
They had set the bar too high.
Yeah, Wildlands pushed that bar right on through the roof. So eventually, we got Borderlands 3. And funny enough, I went through the game. Let's see, that was when Lila was 7. I went, this is going to sound funny, really funny, but I went through Borderlands 3 side by side with my 7-year-old. And she had gotten into Borderlands 2 with me a little bit. She's a Tomb Raider fanatic. She's like some kind of gaming prodigy. I'd come in and watched her play Tomb Raider one time, and she was doing all the stuff like a pro would, and I was blown away. But anyway, went through Borderlands 3. She really doesn't catch on to a lot of the things, but went through Borderlands 3 with my 7-year-old and beat the entire game. And then I don't remember what happened with why we didn't start playing that together. But we'd eventually, Jim and I, got together on Borderlands 3. And we did a run through. And the story, the writing, not a lot of games do this, but there were a couple of twists in the story that hit me pretty hard, and I was like, oh man, the writers got this together. It was quite a nice writing. So to go through and see the story twice, it was pretty neat. What were how'd you feel about that Borderlands?
Being a fan of all of them and having played through all of them, except for the pre-sequel, but I don't know if I want to count that as a Borderlands game.
Yeah.
Very adult themed, but being paramilitary, that doesn't bother me at all. One of the funniest games I've ever played. Series of them. The dialogue and the character creations, with Tiny Tina and
she's awesome.
And who's the guy that owns the rifle company?
Marcus?
No, the Mr. Torg. Is that it?
Oh yeah.
That was voiced by the Dragon Ball Z English dub Hercule Satan, the same voice actor. Just, I mean, that's one of those games that, especially when you're playing with somebody who you have a very similar sense of humor, like me and Gary do, like there's times where you have to stop playing. You just have to set the controller down because you're so uncontrollably laughing.
Yeah.
So if you have one of those types of humors that like just that kind of, I mean, what kind of sense of humor would you say? Like the language and stuff doesn't bother you, and you really get it for the true comedy that it is. You know, I'm not going to say dark comedy because it's not really dark, but just quick. If you like movies like Austin Powers and stuff like that with those little one-liners that just will break you, Borderlands, all three of them are worth a play for sure.
I think that's called slapstick, isn't it?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Slapstick comedy, where they just like Claptrap for sure will hit you with those
yeah,
where the Steve is his name, I think. The hey-o, and Claptrap's like, shut the
yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's some funny stuff in there. It's similar to Fallout. There's just a comedy there you can't really pick out. It's just there and you laugh. It's I don't know. It's a different type.
That's when it comes to funny stuff in gaming, to me, that's where the true comedy lies. Is just those. It's not even like a major part of the story. It's just you come across a character and they say a line and it's just brilliantly written for that part or whatever. To take it all the way back to the Fable 2, when you get across, there's the broken bridge and you wake your way around and there's those two guys up there and it's like, why are we having to guard a bridge? And the one guy's like, but it's broken, you know, like stuff like that. That's just that brilliantly written line, you know, that most people just run by and don't even think about.
Yep.
I'll look for those.
Also, in Borderlands 2, there's a city. It's like, I can't remember. It's been so long. But it's like a city they have this thing that plays over the intercom, and it's giving you direction. It's kind of, the city's taken over by somebody, and everybody's locked in their house. And there's this one broadcast that goes over the radio, and it's like, it's already a computer. Like, this is part of the genius involved in it. It's already a computer, but how do you put it? Like, when you're listening to somebody and like there's a straight talking and then there's a number, but the number changes, they have that dubbed in computer number that's obviously different than everything. So like there's so much comedy wrapped up in this blast because number one, it's already a computer. And then it hits that point where it's a number and it's a differently dubbed number. Like it could have just been straight through, but they put in the effort to differently dub it with a different tone in the voice for the computer. But what is said is your weekly medication ration and then it does the 1 bottle of pain reliever is available. They have a weekly ration of 1 bottle. Like everybody's sick and you need medication. And I don't know. It was funny as shit to me walking through there and hearing that. I laughed pretty hard, but that's one of those things, like, it's not even meant to be in your face. It's a background thing you have to pay attention to, and they put so much focus on making sure that made you laugh, and you might not even hear it. That's one of the funny things with Borderlands to me.
Yeah, because, like, I mean, like the handsome Jack, when he pops in on the radio speaking into your earpiece type thing, you know, he's hilarious, and it's just some awesome, brilliantly written comedy that he has. But just when you walk into a bar and you hear different people talking to each other in the background and just overhear some of the conversations and knowing that it was just this minuscule little backwritten thing just to have something going in the background, but you hear it.
Yeah.
And it's just, you're laughing your head off because it's so funny.
Yeah. I mean, you have to hate Handsome Jack, but man, is he funny. And as a matter of fact, like, I've got that sucker right here. I hated him. He's such a douchebag, but his comedy is so on point. You've got to like him. The damn baloney pony. What was the other name? What was the name for the pony he was wanting to get?
I don't remember. Every time I think of a horse in Borderlands, all I can think of is Butt Stallion.
Butt Stallion, that was the one.
That was Tiny Tina's unicorn.
That's the when you're
That's the one
in
eat the iridium too, and it poops out guns.
in number 2, when you're coming off the iceberg, you're coming out of that first town you go to.
Yeah,
you're picking up the little tapes, and it's Handsome Jack. He's asking you what he should name his pony, and that's where Baloney Pony comes from. And he's like, I'm just gonna name it Butt Stallion.